This is a warning. The Grim Reaper of radio, Bob Romanik, with his off-the-record show is about to air. He's probably the nastiest and craziest son of a bitch that you've ever had the misfortune to encounter. The Grim Reaper show will be very controversial and probably quite tasteless. If you are even slightly offended by controversial matter concerning religion, racial matters, politics, or life's problems, you are hereby warned to turn this program off immediately. The Grim Reaper show will be, like his face, very scary and very ugly. At this time, not proudly, but shamefully presents to you Bob Romanik, the craziest son of a bitch on the radio today.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane Broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. Good Friday morning to friend and foe. Hey, I just want to tell you, I appreciate all these emails. I get probably 50 to 1 good to bad, but a friend of mine told me last night, what are you reading those bad ones for? I like reading the bad ones because I want everybody to get their word out. And got some other ones here. But before we get going, people, you listen to my disclaimer at the top of my show. It's going to get scary. And my face is ugly, and my show is ugly. Well, it can't be any uglier than my face, but it's just as ugly. And you hear what they say. You hear what the announcer says. If you're offended by just about anything, turn the damn radio station somewhere else. Nobody's asking you idiots, and I don't mean the good people that enjoy the show. I'm talking about the complainers. You can sit there and complain, but if you want to stick your hand in a meat grinder and get a finger cut off, and then the next day you stick it back in there, that's your fault. That's not my fault. And I say as always, and I never get tired of saying it, don't blame me. Blame those brave military heroes, past, present, and future, some who gave all and all who gave some of their lives for me to speak free. But what really gets me going, the people that are against what I say, then why shouldn't everybody be against what you good people say? Don't be hypocrites. That's the problem. But anyway, I don't want to talk about NAME again, the National Association for Majority Equality. Had a couple of black friends of mine say, that sounds racist. And I said, well, you sound like an idiot. And we'll get into that. Most white people won't go there. Now they'll say, oh, the Ku Klux Klan. This is nothing like the Ku Klux Klan. I disavow anything the Ku Klux Klan did to the proud black people. That's not right. But I'll also disavow what anybody's going to do to the proud white people. Did you hear me? Both black and white out there. I'm going to be loud and I'm going to be proud. I don't give a damn. Nobody's going to tell me as a white man I got to take the back seat. And I'm not a racist. But I'll be damned if anybody of any color. And that's what's wrong with you white people. You're not stupid. You're just afraid. Why are you white? Why is the majority afraid out there? Will somebody call and answer that question? We are America's voice of freedom. Definitely the Patriot. You can call toll free 1-888-394-1430. On the east side, 394-1190. You don't have to give your name. You sit in the restaurant, you hear the white people. They're livid. They're pissed. They're not loud and proud. They're strong and silent. But being strong and silent is going to get you nothing. You see these asswipe groups, black and white, these protesters, they're loud. They're loud and embarrassing. But they get their way. It's not any substance. They have no substance for most of these protests. But they get their way. Because they're loud. You hear me, people? They're loud. And I'm loud. I'm loud and I'm proud. So all of yous out there, you can sit on the sideline. Bob Romanik's tired of sitting on the sideline. And it's not a racial thing. It's just a fairness thing. I'm the majority. I'm a white guy. I get pushed to the back of the bus by the gays, by the blacks, by the criminals. So do all of us. But the blacks, the greasy, sleazy blacks, the plantation Negroes, not the proud blacks, but the plantation Negroes, they want to say I'm a racist. They want to say any white man that talks about racial issues, any white man that bitches when he don't think he's getting fair treatment, you're a racist. Well, then I got to be the biggest racist in town, in the country, in the world, because I'm not going to take it anymore. And I'm not just talking about the blacks. There's enough white, greasy son of a bitches up in Springfield, in Washington, and right here in St. Clair County. Mark, the big faggot Kern, and Bob, I'd like to piss in my pants Sprague, the leaders of the St. Clair County Democratic culture of corruption. I'm tired of this crap, people. You can sit back and take it. And again, name, National Association for Majority Equality. That's the same as an NAACP. And I would ask every member of the NAACP to join. Because I know they believe in equality. That's what the NAACP was formed on, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Well, I'm a colored person. My color is white. Why am I going to get shoved to the back of the bus? And it's reparation and all this crap slavery 300 years ago. I'm not going to feel bad. Well, I take that back. I do feel bad about that. I'm not going to feel bad about myself, though. I had nothing to do with it, and I'm not going to pay for it. Let the people 300 years ago go dig up their graves. Let them pay for it. We got some callers. Go ahead, caller. You're on the dark side.
Hello?
Hello.
Good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
Hey, I know what the white people are afraid of. It's persecution. That's all it is.
Well, Mike, why do you think, and I understand that, but why do the white people, when they get in the restaurants, and some of them are racist, just like there's some black racists, but most of the white people aren't racist. They don't dislike blacks. They're afraid of blacks because the politicians, both black and white, have tried to separate us. See, I've been in the black community. I know there's a lot of great blacks, and I know there's some ass-white blacks, too. But why are the whites? Are you a proud white man?
Well, I'm a humble white man. Let's put it that way.
Well, then you know what? Then you ain't worth a damn, Mike. If you're not proud of what you are, then you ain't worth a damn. So come and argue with me on that, Mike.
Well, pride is one of the 7 deadly sins. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, if your son or daughter won a scholarship, you would not be proud of her? And that's a sin? Now, see, I'm not a religious guy, Mike, and I don't want to argue with you. I'm sure you're a nice gentleman. But that's a sin?
Well, I'd be glad for, but I try not to boast, you know. It's just something I try not to do because sooner or later it's going to bite you in the ass if you do.
Well, you know what? I understand. I don't want to get in a pissing match with you. And I understand what you're saying, Mike, but we're talking semantics here. You know, when I say I'm proud to say that I'm an American. I'm proud that I'm white. I'm not going to take a back seat. There's a lot of whites. Well, I can't say that I'm proud and white because the blacks will get mad. Well, I'll be damned. I don't give a damn who gets mad. Do you? I mean, aren't you proud of what you've done? Aren't you proud of your family? Now, come on, Mike.
You should stand up for what you believe in. I'll say that. But, you know, I will say that. You should stand up for what you believe in. Okay,
Mike, answer me this question. You're a what did you say? Not a proud white man. You're what kind of white man again? I'm sorry.
Humble.
Okay, well, I'm not very humble, but that's okay. Answer me this question, Mike, and I'm serious. We've started the National Association for Majority Equality. Our motto is, we will not ask for anything more than equality, but we will not tolerate any less. Does that sound racial to you?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Well, why did the blacks, not the proud blacks, they understand because they're fighting for equality too. The ass-white blacks and the ass-white whites, they're going to make that Bob Romanik's a racist. I'm far from being a racist, Mike. But see, that's what happens. And see, I'm probably the only white guy on the radio that'll bring this crap up, and I'm not a racist. I disavow the Ku Klux Klan. I disavow slavery, but I don't disavow my white heritage, and I'm not going to take a back seat. But the National Association for Majority Equality, Mike, think about it. If you're white, you're the majority. You get pushed back by the blacks, not you, but in essence, we do. If you're straight, the gays are the minority. We get pushed back. If we're the good guys that believe in law enforcement, law-abiding citizens, the criminals, we get pushed back. When is a majority in any situation ever going to take charge again, Mike? Do you know?
Well, Bob, this political correctness has ruined this country. They have made what is wrong right and vice versa. That's where the problem lies.
You know, Mike, this asswipe emails me yesterday and says I'm a racist because Mike Brown was innocent and I defended that Darren Wilson. Now, see, that's what the National Association for Majority Equality is about. We should have been out there taking care of Darren Wilson. This policeman killed this bum, this black criminal, and guess who gets a call from the White House? Not Darren Wilson, the heroic police officer who happened to be white, but the family of Michael Brown, the asswipe black criminal. Now, there's something wrong there, Mike.
There is. It's a shame that Darren Wilson, his career is over. He's finished.
His life is over, Mike. Not his career, his life. He's got a hideout, and we should have embraced him as a hero. He was a hero. He was like a hero that come home from a war and had to kill somebody to protect us, had to kill somebody to come home safe. Right. And he's chastised. Where is the white community? Where was the white community? And I'm not arguing with you, Mike. I'm arguing with the white community. Why wasn't there a National Association for Majority Equality? If we were in existence then, we would have been over there. It's about time that we stand up, not as white people, but as right people. When it's right. Mike, am I right or wrong?
No, that is very true. But the white race is so afraid of persecution, and it's a shame that we don't stand together like they do. But as far as I know, the white people never have. They all scatter when there's trouble.
Mike, you must listen to me because I say all the time.
I listen religiously every day.
I would say I'd rather have 10 blacks fighting for me other than 100 whites. And the blacks don't care. And I say this with all due respect. They don't care what the fight's about. If they get involved, they're going to fight till the end. The whites, oh, no, we can't do that. At some point in time, and they'll say this is a racist statement, but it's not. If the whites don't stand for what is right, we're going to be destroyed as a race. Am I right or wrong, Mike?
Oh, that's very true. I agree 100%. That's very true.
Well, Mike, thank you for the call, and I didn't mean to jump your ass at first, but hey, you sound like, and I know you won't use the word, but you sound like a proud white man. You just sound like a proud individual, as we all are. I'm proud of some of the things I do. I'm not proud of some of the other things I've done in the past, but if there's anybody out there that says they're perfect, then we better watch out, because that'll be God. If he's up there, he'll be coming down, because what I know about religion, that's the only man that was perfect. Mike, thank you very much for the call, buddy. You understand what Mike says? I'm sure he's a proud white man, but we'll take that proudness out of it. White people, what the hell's wrong with you guys? You're just going to let a guy come in and take your television and not say nothing? Then he's going to come in and take your radio. Then he's going to come in and take everything in your house. At some point in time, if you're right, you got to stand for what you believe in. And I don't believe in racism. And I don't believe in getting anything other than equal treatment. Do you hear me? The National Association for Majority Equality. It's not a majority advantage. It's majority equality. Equality for everyone, regardless of race. Now, if that's a racial statement, if that's a racist statement, then kiss my white, hairy, red, white, and blue, wrinkled, old, smelly ass. Because I'll stand by that. I'll stand by that. I'll stand on the corner in East St. Louis and say it, and I'll stand on a corner in Chesterfield and say it. I'll say it in the black area. I'll say it in the white area. I'm not a racist. And I hate to bring it up. I give $25,000 last year to feed the hungry at Christmas. I wasn't running for anything. I did that out of the kindness of my heart. I put money down there to get people fans, to feed them, to bury them. I'm not a racist. I'm a realist. And I'm just tired And then these ass white bastards down in East St. Louis, not the proud blacks, these son of a bitches that took our money. Here's one of the emails. Let's see here. Where's it at? From Jason Morgan. Indian giver. You gave a gift and later you want it back. Or you expect something of equivalent worth in return for the item. We give $250,000 down there. And those greasy black bastards, not the proud black community, swore on their mama. We're for you. We're for getting rid of the culture of corruption. They're lousy, lying son of a bitches. I didn't want anything given back. I just wanted what we paid for. And these bastards, these no-good son of a bitches, they screwed us. But that's okay. Hey, white guy got screwed again. They laughing down there. But see, we'll get the last laugh. Because Kern and Sprague and those guys are going to do nothing like they've done in the past. They're going to do nothing. And they say, I'm mad? Well, yes, I'm mad. It's not the money. It's the matter of principle. But see, some of those people down there and some of the whites up here at the county, they don't know what principles are. But it says, you give help, you don't expect something in return. Are you nuts, you idiot? Jason Morgan, you are a complete idiot, a complete idiot. And I want to thank again all the people with emails. Here's one, great job. Another one, hey, keep exposing these rotten bastards. Another one, let's get together and keep the fight going. You're doing a great job exposing these political criminals. Another one, you tell the truth, sometimes a little tough, a little rough, but that's what America's about. And Mark, Gary, Bill, Frank, and all you other guys, thank you very much. But I like to give the negative. Both sides. Here's Little Tater again. You remember Little Tater, that asswipe little black bastard? Y'all, after your verbal assaults on me, I will never listen to 1430 again. I'm finna, F-I-N-N-A, gonna, G-U-N-N-A. I'm finna gonna take it. I'm finna gonna take it off my preset. You nothing but a hater. I will take my listenership somewhere else, Little Tater. You know what, Little Tater, I really hate to lose a complete idiot listener like you. But why try the Disney Channel? That'd be more up your alley, you idiot. Here's another one. Hold on. Steve Patch Johnson. Try to hang in there. I'm going to school you on something. You have the delusion that you're liked. Hey, Steve Patch Johnson, you must be the offspring of a goat or a sheep. I don't give a damn about people liking me. So when you say that, I'm not delusional. Well, I'm delusional, but not about that you're well liked. It's not true. Unlike you, I am sure that you're liked by the gay community, Steve Patch Johnson. I don't give a damn to be liked by anybody. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make a difference. How many times you people heard me say that? It's not about being liked. It's about revenge for me, people. I've told you that. It's revenge. It's destruction of this St. Clair County Democratic culture of corruption. And we bit into them this time. We didn't win what we should have won. If our good old black boys down in East St. Louis hadn't screwed us, hadn't cheated us, we'd all be winners. We'd all be winners, but that's okay. Every person I talked to said, you're going to get screwed. You get screwed. They get screwed every year. Take money down to East St. Louis. They buy cars and snooks and muscatel. And that's not the proud blacks. I tell you always, don't ever put the proud blacks with these plantation Negroes. Says, I'll keep listening to your hate-riddled radio show. Why? What hate? I don't like people. I'm going to say I don't like it. You know, it's not hatred on everyone. It's not hatred on this country. I love this country. Because you're just like blah, blah, blah. I can't read that. And, I listen to you every day because I hate you. This is what Steve Patch Johnson's. He listens every day because he hates me. Well, Steve, your mama didn't say she hated me last night when I left her house. So why would you want to hate me? And you ought to be nice to me. I could be your daddy. No, again, I couldn't be your daddy because I would do what they do with crap. I'd flushed it down the toilet and you wouldn't be around. Hypothetically, of course. But, these people want to give me crap, and that's okay. I understand that. But when I give them crap, it's a different story. Why the hell is it a different story? And again, we've got this one here. O'Brandon yesterday from Chesterfield. My outrageous and violent rhetoric. It's not violent. I've never wished violence on anybody. See, these people hear what they want to hear. And that's okay. And they can say what they want to say. But they don't want Bob Romanik saying what he wants to say. We've got another caller. Go ahead, caller. You're on the dark side.
Hello?
Yes.
Bob, wanted to check you on a few things with the Darren Wilson, Mike Brown thing.
Okay, go ahead.
I listen to you every day like your show, black guy and all that.
Hey, wait a minute. Whoa. Bill, are you a proud black man?
I am.
Okay, go ahead, buddy. I'm glad that you're proud to be what you are. Go ahead.
Okay, Bob, you were saying that Darren Wilson should be praised and all that. You would have to go back and check his record also, Bob. He had a track record of not going about everything the way he should.
Now, wait a minute, though, Bill. What does that have to do with the guy trying to grab his gun and kill him and he's shooting? Now, maybe he got suspended because he cussed out the chief. Maybe he got suspended because he wouldn't come to work on time. Let's don't flip the script now, Bill. You're an intelligent, proud black man, so let's be real, but go ahead.
Yeah, he had other priors before Mike Brown to where he should have been suspended. I know this for a fact.
Well, wait a minute. That's your opinion. He should have been suspended. And how do you know this for a fact? That didn't come out. And let me tell you what, Bill, and I'll let you finish. President Obama vetted this guy. Eric Holder, both proud black men, vetted both of them. It went to a grand jury. They couldn't get him on one minor charge. And in this country, you can get charged with something for nothing. I ask you, Bill, if the president who was black, the attorney general who was black, the grand jury, everybody said he was totally innocent. How the hell is there an argument there? In this country, we have to go with our judicial system, not how you feel and not how I feel, but go ahead.
It's not how I feel. He was actually, Bob, you don't know the insides of everything.
And you don't know either, Bill. Bill, you don't know. Here, Bill, let me tell you why you don't know that. You can throw out any crap here. If it wasn't in the paper, if it wasn't vetted by the Attorney General, by the President of the United States, both proud black people, if it wasn't vetted and it wasn't brought out in the grand jury or in any of the charges or any of his background, I don't want to hear it because I don't think it's true, Bill.
It doesn't come out in the media. It doesn't mean anything. Is that what you're saying?
No. I say the way the media is today with all the leaks, if there'd have been anything, and I'll tell you what, Bill, I will apologize to you. And if you can bring me a big rap sheet of Darren Wilson, I'll give you $1,000. If you bring it over here and we can certify it and verify it, I will apologize to you on the air personally, and I'll give you $1,000. I don't believe all the crap and I don't say you're a liar, Bill. You know, the media puts out all kind of crap, but half the crap's not true, and the other half the crap is not true. But go ahead.
Work, and I'm gonna bring it to your office personally.
Okay.
Because you're wrong. I can call you out on this from facts.
Well, that's what you heard. That's what you heard. What are the facts that you have heard, Bill?
I've seen paperwork. My uncle is a Ferguson. He was a Ferguson policeman, and he has all kind of paperwork. I'm gonna bring it in there Monday morning.
What kind of paperwork? Give me for instance.
He pulled a young black guy over maybe 2 blocks down from his street. Luckily, this guy's dad came out to see what was going on. And when he came out there, he was cussing and fussing. And this guy, if his dad wouldn't have came out there, it might have been another situation as the Mike Brown situation.
Now, wait a minute. Bill, hey, you're telling me that the policeman got out and was cussing this black guy, right?
No, I'm going to bring you the facts Monday, Bob. I'm at work. I go love your show, and I'll talk to you
Bill.
Monday.
Hey, you're a proud black man. I appreciate you standing up for what you believe in. See, I love that. I don't think he's right. But the man's going to fight the fight. But see, that's the problem. You hear this, you hear that. But this Michael Brown situation, and you people got to know, I've been in law enforcement. If the President of the United States, if the Attorney General, both black, if the grand jury said there was nothing, you couldn't indict him for busting a grape. Darren Wilson, in my eyes, in the judicial eyes, in the eyes of the American judicial system, was clean as a driven snow. Now, I think Mike Brown was a piece of crap. I feel for his family because I lost my son. I know what it's like. That doesn't make it right. Mike Brown was wrong. He made his destiny. If he hadn't grabbed that policeman's gun or attempted to grab it, There's no way in hell, I believe, Darren Wilson or any policeman, black or white, want to go out one day and say, I just want to kill somebody. They put their lives on the line. So lines are always open. We are America's voice of freedom, definitely the Patriot. You can call toll-free, 1-888-394-1430. On the east side, 394-1190. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting at its finest. America's bi-state voice of freedom. Radical radio. And we are, as always, very, very, very proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, very, very proud to be the Patriot. Again, we are America's voice of freedom. Definitely the Patriot. You can call toll-free anytime. 1-888-394-1430. On the east side, 394-1190. Now, you'll call anytime. If I'm ranting and raving, you ain't going to get on. But don't ever hesitate to call, because when we've got time, we'll take the calls. Talked to a nice, proud white gentleman over in the Missouri side. He said, Bob, I don't think you're violent. You want violence, turn on the TV. He said there's shows about murder, there's shows about this, there's people getting their heads blown off, and they say, I'm violent, and sir, thank you very much. And then I said, sir, you're not a racist, you're a proud white man. What do you think of the National Association for Majority Equality? He said, we all should be equal. And he says, well, what's wrong with being a racist? And I thought about that, and I thought, who the hell am I to judge somebody? If somebody wants to be a racist, both black and white, that's their prerogative. See, I don't want to be a hypocrite. If you feel racism in your heart, whether you're a black man or a white man, I can't tell you not to be a racist. I can tell you I think it's wrong, but you got every right, both black and white, to be what you want to be, as I have and everybody else in this great country. So let's don't try to pigeonhole people in a group that we want to be in. I just say personally, this is my opinion, that I don't think racism's right on either side. But if somebody wants to be a racist, that guy's right. That gentleman is totally right. If somebody wants to be a racist, who the hell am I? Who the hell am I to say he can't be a racist, black or white? We've got some more callers. Let's go ahead, caller. You're on the dark side. Well, the caller, wait, Walter, call back. We lost you somehow. But I like that gentleman. I like that gentleman. He really very poignant, to the point. Who am I to say? Maybe this guy, black or white, got screwed over by a black or white guy. I don't know the history. And I say, it ain't right. It's not right. It's not right. In my opinion, it's not right. And I had somebody here on one of these. He says, you make racist comments. This is Steve Patch Johnson. You make racist comments. Never made racist comments. I make racial comments. If a black man would say it, you wouldn't say you were racist. And that pisses me off. And that does piss me off. Not racist. Never made a racist comment. I make racial comments all the time. And are not actually opinions. Are you nuts? They're always my opinion. But I tell you to research what I say, and you'll find out what I say is right. Got Steve? Go ahead, Steve. You're on the dark side.
Hey, Bob. Thanks for taking my call.
Okay, what's going on in your world, buddy?
Well, actually, I'd kind of just like to follow up the gentleman that called in, just the last gentleman, about the Mike Brown situation. I think you're absolutely right. If that Darren Wilson would have had scratch on his butt, they would have, got it out into the public's eye. So,
and they would have tried. They would have tried, and that's right. They would have tried to, Steve. They would have tried to just escalate it and try to make it worse and worse. They had nothing on this guy. Where was the white community, the black community, come out against him, and all the whites sit home? And I got to say, I'm embarrassed to be white on that situation. I had the St. Louis County Police call me and say, Bob, please don't come over there. I was going to come over there in my clown car because I would have supported him. And I didn't want to make the matters worse. But where was any groups to come over and support? They just let this poor Darren Wilson just ride off into the sunset, afraid, lost his job. His wife lost her job. I think You still there?
Didn't know what was going to happen. But why I called, this is what I thought was interesting. And, like you said, facts are facts and people can say whatever. One of the things that I do know for a fact is that his mom and dad were not in that boy's life. He was being raised by his grandparents, his grandma.
Right.
And it came out in the Post-Dispatch that the father hadn't seen him in years, and then all of a sudden, he's father of the year, and the mom is mother of the year. Well, that's what the problem is.
Yeah. Well, and Steve, and not only that, Mike Brown was a citizen of the year. They try to paint him. You can't put all kind of memorial stuff. You put onto the side of the road, and I understand that they had it in the middle of the street, and I'll be damned. The law enforcement, the politicians, not so much law enforcement, but the politicians said, don't touch that. What the hell's wrong with our society, Steve, where they just let crap go because we're afraid to say, hey, it's a black man doing it. Oh, you can't say black. I say black every day. Go ahead, Steve.
No, you're right, Bob. I just want to thank you for everything you do and say, and I wish I had just half the balls you did because I think we'd all be a lot better off. Thanks a lot.
Well, Steve, thank you. Before you go, do you think I'm a racist? And I'm sure you're a proud white man. The National Association for Majority Equality, how can anybody other than a racist say that's racist? Nope, I guess Steve's gone. But think about it, people. How can anybody... When I say the National Association for Majority Equality, how can anybody say that's racist? The only person who'll say that's racist, black or white, is a racist. Because I believe in equal. I think the NAACP should join our group. I think every minority group should join our group. Because at some point they are the majority. And they want equal treatment. That's all we want as a proud white community is equal treatment. The motto, we will not ask for anything more than equality, but we will not accept or tolerate any less. And people say that's racist? Well, then again, I'm the biggest racist in town because I'm tired. I want to be treated equal. I wasn't treated equal when I was younger. I was white, poor white trash. It wasn't the color. Why shouldn't I have been treated equal? Didn't have anything to do with black and white. But now it's, if you want equality, you're a racist. I think that's totally wrong, people. I think that's totally wrong. Let me tell you what else I think is totally wrong. This asswipe, no good son of a bitch, Tom Holbrook, Mr. Haney, you rotten bastard. First there was 9,000. He gets on TV, says there's 9,000 absentee ballots that he has secured at the courthouse. Then apparently Sprague and Kern got with him and, you idiot, Holbrook, Mr. Haney, you can't do that because we'll lose. Those are all outer county. Those are all Republican. We can't control the votes like we do down in East St. Louis with the plantation Negroes. So then all of a sudden there was only 400. You people understand what's going on in St. Clair County? The candidates didn't lose the election. You people lost. Everybody in St. Clair County lost. It's going to be 4 more years of the same crap. And on a side note, all these expungements, you know that James Haywood, that piece of crap, got a rap sheet 3 miles long? He produced good in the election for the Democrats. Guess what happened 2 days later? His entire record is expunged. Check the courthouse. His entire record, voting fraud and everything else, has been expunged. You good people out there all throughout St. Clair County better understand that this culture of corruption is stronger than ever. We could have knocked them out. I would say the people made their choice, but the people didn't. The politicians stole it like they do every year. They stole it from you, good people. But Mr. Haney, Tom Holbrook, we wanted a total accounting. We're not going to get it. They worry about the East St. Louis Election Board. Everybody ought to be worried about the county clerk, Tom Holbrook. And by the way, Tom, all these salacious, dirty, nasty allegations that Derek Wallace all over the internet accused you of being a pedophile. I said it's alleged that you're a pedophile. He lived with you back in the day when you shacked up with his mother. And I think I personally think an innocent man would come out and make a statement. Tom Holbrook, will you come on the air, the polygraph examiner of your choice, and take a polygraph test? Because if you're innocent, I don't want you to be blamed. I never want somebody to be blamed for something they didn't do. Tom Holbrook, Derek Wallace has accused you of pedophilia. It's an allegation. I don't know if it's true or not, but I know it's all over the internet. Derek Wallace. Now he's in jail because they say that he allegedly now threatened Tom Holbrook. But I just wonder, how the hell can you threaten a guy when your secretary says somebody calls and said they threatened him? His secretary is not a voice analyst expert. Think about it, people. But because his secretary said Derek Wallace called, Derek Wallace is arrested for threatening a public official. Right on the spot. I seem to think, and kind of think, in my opinion, of course, that they're trying to silence this Derek Wallace. And I don't think he's going to be silenced once he gets out of jail. But Tom Holbrook, I would ask you, the St. Clair County clerk, these nasty allegations of pedophilia, if they're not true, will you please call me? I want to clear your name. It's alleged at this time. But I ask personally, why would somebody allege that? You know the old saying, maybe where there's smoke, there's fire. But Tom Holbrook, I haven't heard him come out. I haven't heard him defend himself. I defend myself all the time. You people defend yourself. If somebody says something wrong about me, you know I'm all over them. And if somebody says something wrong about you, I know you're all over them. We got another caller. Go ahead, caller. You're on the dark side. Go ahead, caller.
Hello.
Hello, go ahead.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
Well, if I was doing any better, I wouldn't be able to stand it. Can you beat that?
No, I can't, sir. What's going on in your world?
Well, I tell you what. I went to court back in September for a DUI that I got in 2009.
Oh, you're a bad guy. Well, you know what? You ought to go be in jail for life for making a mistake in your life. I'm being facetious, of course. Go ahead, sir.
Well, and that's what they said to me. But I'm just an ordinary, everyday working man. Why do they want to penalize me whenever there's all this other synthetic drugs and stuff out on the world that's going on, killing people?
Well, let me ask you one thing, sir. Are you a vote getter? Can you go out and get the Democratic culture of corruption 200 or 300 votes?
Well, I probably have.
Well, I know, but you can't go out every election and get 200 or 300 votes. What I'm alluding to is, if you're not a precinct committeeman, if you're not beneficial to the politicians, they give a damn less about you. Don't you agree?
Bingo! You hit the nail on the head.
Yep, sir. Well, hey.
And you know what? What gets me, Gibbons. I tell you what, he's a prosecuting attorney up there in Madison County. And I don't know if I could talk to you off the air or not. Well,
I'll tell you what. Why don't you call back in a little bit after 11, sir? I'll be more than happy to talk to you. Thank you for the call. But people, you got to understand, unless you're a politician, unless you can get these ass-wipe political vultures votes, you don't have anything coming. And we don't want special treatment there again. We just want equal treatment in this county, both black and white. Blacks are getting screwed. Whites are getting screwed. If you can't get them votes, if you can't perpetuate their political existence, you're not worth a damn. But Tom Holbrook, before the break, please give me a call and defend yourself. I would personally think an honest man, a man of innocence, would defend himself. Tom Holbrook, if what Derek Wallace says about you is true, you are a you're a bigger low-life, no-count, good-for-nothing son of a bitch than I thought you were. You rotten bastard. And it ain't going to be pretty if these allegations come to light. And I think unless you can keep Derek Wallace, in my opinion, keep Derek Wallace in jail forever, I think there's going to be problems. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about the Mid-America Airport one last time. Well, not one last time, but we're going to talk about it one more time. We'll be back right after this break. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane Broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, very, very proud to live in this great country, and also very proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane Broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, very proud to be the Patriot. I read here about the impact strategies in Belleville. Now, the poor people of Belleville just spent right at $16 million for a new police headquarters that they could have got by without. Now they've got another $2.5 million, the modernization of City Hall. So that's that's about $20 million. And guess who got the work? Impact Strategies. And guess who works for Impact Strategies? Mayor Pussy Boy Maximus Vaginus Mark Eckert's son. Isn't that something? People, do you understand what went on there? I think you do. And Eckert, that rotten bastard, this town safe? I say Pussy Boy Maximus Vaginus Mark Eckert, the illustrious mayor of Belleville. The blood of the people of Belleville is on your hands. You talk about it being safe. There's robberies, there's rapes, there's shootings, there's killings. You don't want to talk about that, but you want to make sure your son's business, Impact Strategies, has a $20 million job to keep your son working? How pathetic is that, you rotten, no-count, good-for-nothing bastard? And speaking of no-count, rotten, good-for-nothing bastards, Mark, the big faggot Kern, the county board chairman. County board approves future Mid-America Airport improvement plans. People, they're spending money up the wazoo to bring people to that airport for that failed airline that you people all know now. It's been on national television. Kern won't tell you that. One of the most unsafe airlines in America. He keeps shoving people on that plane. I got to say to you, Mark, the big faggot Kern, if one of those planes go down, the blood of every one of those will be on your hands. But here it says here that the Public Building Commission are going to make some changes. Commissioners approved it. These commissioners not even elected by you good people, but they get the heat. But here, federal dollars also make up 90%. There's going to be a $400,000 project, a $566,000 project. And here's what Cantwell, the director of the airport, we've milked them for their historic use of 15 years, said Tam Cantwell. That's what a con man says. Milked them for the last 15 years. But now there's another $920 that says federal money would pay 90% of the project. Local and state sources would each have 5%. Others project listed future years include a $5 million runway shoulder, $3 million taxiway shoulder. 90% the cost will be by federal dollars. Do these people think we're stupid? It's not federal dollars, people. It's our hardworking tax dollars. It goes to the feds and they recycle it. So when Kern says, oh, don't worry about it, 90% is a federal grant, that's our money. They want to push people to that airport, and every person that goes to that airport on those cheap flights, on those unsafe flights out of Mid-America and on Allegiant, takes $2,000 or $3,000 of money that we could have had for restaurants, for hotels, for concert venues, for sporting events, for the casino. We're losing millions of dollars a year, and Mark, the big faggot Kern, the county board chairman, is a facilitator. And he's letting everybody, hey, go on that Allegiant airline. We're going to make sure it's okay. One of the most unsafe records in the country. Why wouldn't Mark, the big faggot Kern, tell you good people that before the election? He won't tell you that after the election. They don't have the guts. All they care about is getting reelected. All this money, people, $8, $12, $15, $20 million. And it says it's going to be federal money, most of it, and state and local will only be 5%. There's no tax ferry. There's no grant ferry. That money comes from us. Every penny that runs this great country comes from us, the hardworking taxpayers of this country. Why they say federal? Oh, it's a federal grant. There's no grant ferry, as I said. It's our money they're wasting. All these improvements for Mid-America Airport so we can lose another $15 million a year. So people, you got Mark Kern for another 4 years. Not only is it another $15 million a year operating expense, they're putting another $15, $20 million in improvements. So it can be a debacle and a failure. Who would put $20 million in a failed business that's been failed for the last 20 years? It's cost the taxpayers $500 million. You people were okey-fadoked. And I want to take that back. You weren't okey-fadoked. The election was stolen again down below the hill with those asswipe, greasy plantation Negroes, not the proud blacks. And you people in St. Clair County, you're going to stand for it? You're going to continue to stand for it? Well, then you get everything you deserve. And you deserve to get screwed because that's what you've been doing. That's what they've been doing for the last 20 years. Another $20 million, people, besides of our tax dollars, besides the $15 million a year we lose, and we just sit back and take it. Mark Kern will lie to you. Bob, I like pissing in my pants spraying. The man gets drunk, they tell me. And I want to know, Bob, do you get drunk and piss in your pants? I've seen your pants wet a lot of times, but I thought maybe it was sweat. Because you sweaty, greasy bastards, that's what you do. You sweat. Because one of these days, in my opinion, you're all going to go down for the count. Now that there's a Republican president, there'll be a Republican U.S. attorney. I'll bet you Kern and those guys are ready to retire. In my opinion, of course. Hey, everybody, have a good, safe weekend. Just remember, equality for everyone. Black, white, Hispanic, men, women, Democrats and Republicans. For one of us that does not get equality, it affects all of us. So let's give everybody equal treatment. Not the whites, not the blacks, but the Americans. Let's give everybody equal treatment. And those who say that it's racist, they are the racist. Let's everybody have a good weekend. Be safe. And let's continue to fight the fight. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of Radio, and you've been listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting at its finest. America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. Come on back Monday. We'll continue our fight for truth, justice, and the American way of life. Something that these politicians are trying to erode from us. Something these politicians have been taking away day in and day out. Let's continue to expose them, people. Let's continue to fight them. So let's join together. We can only do this. We can only make this successful journey together. Black, white, men, women, Democrats, and Republicans. Only together can we make this journey to be successful, to make this country great again. So let's continue to unite. The fight's not over. The round was lost, but the fight is far from being over. The St. Clair County Freedom Coalition marches on strong and proud, and we'll continue with your help to march down that path to victory. We'll chip it away a little bit at a time like we've done the last 4 years. And the end will be near for these rotten political vultures. So let's continue to expose these rotten political, parasitical, perverted punks that we call politicians. And one day soon, we'll all unite. We'll all celebrate, because we will have come together to destroy this culture of corruption, not only in St. Clair County, but throughout this great state and this great country. Destroy this culture of corruption once and for all, right here on the dark side.